Hey again everyone, and welcome back to another large-scale review. Today's model comes from LGB. As you may already be able to tell, it's a Coca-Cola themed model. And I'd normally show the box and such, but there's really nothing on here other than just this information right here. So that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and get to getting the model out of the box. Well, as you can see, this is a Coca-Cola themed Boxcar, and like I mentioned before, this was produced by LGB. And if you go back a couple months ago, you may have seen my video I did where I got some other large-scale stock from another eBay seller. And unfortunately, this was one of the listings that got away from me. However, I was fortunate to come across another seller that had one, and it was actually at a cheaper cost, but I'll talk about that here a little bit later. Now with this Boxcar, of course the main focus is the Coca-Cola theme, but there's quite a few other things about this I like. And it's not often that I get in LGB stock simply because LGB seems to be one of the more popular brands of G-Scale out there. And I believe LGB was actually the first ones to develop G-Scale. But when you see these models online, they tend to command a high price. I think some of that's mainly to do with these people that have more money than brains. But because LGB stock tends to be rather expensive, it's not often that I'll purchase it. But I really do like this Boxcar, and the first thing I want to point out is all the detail on this, because you can see that we've got ladders, steps, grab handles, there's the brake wheel right there, a little platform here. I'm not sure what this brass piece is or this bit here, so somebody will have to tell me down in the comments. But going up top, you can see that we've got walkways and more grab handles. I'm really liking the look of that roof. And if we go on to the other end of the car here, you can also see that we've got, once again, more ladders, more grab handles and steps and such. And another thing I really like about this Boxcar is the fact that this has working door latches and, of course, opening doors. And you can see that we don't really have any detail in there other than the wood floor. And I have to admit, I really do like how smooth these doors are. And of course, that latch is a nice touch. But going underneath, you can see under here, we've also got brake rigging and framework. And that's quite a lot of detail under there. I noticed we have a 1968 to 1993 LGB 25 sticker. I believe that was celebrating LGB's 25th anniversary, and I'm thinking this Boxcar was produced in 1993 as well. There's also a little quality control sticker right there. And also, looking at the trucks look like nice as well. You can see we've got springs on here. The ends of the axles are there, but they don't turn. I've actually got a hopper car that has these ends turn on it. But also the graphics are really nice. You can see there's the Coca-Cola logo right there. I'm also liking the rivet detail on this car as well. But you can see this one here. Again, that looks really nice. And I have to admit, while I do like the overall look of this, there are a few things I am a little disappointed about. First would have to be, this car feels rather light, and I noticed that we have plastic wheels on here. Now, I am not a fan of plastic wheels. I prefer metal ones, and I feel if the metal ones were on this car, it would give it some much needed weight. But, you know, I can get metal replacements somewhere, I think. Also, not a fan of the hook and loop couplers, but that's no big deal. I can just get some LGB knuckles and swap those out. And one of the last things that I'm a little surprised LGB did is you'll notice that we have screws just exposed here. You know, you won't see that from brands like USA Trains or Aristo-Craft when they were still around, or even MTH. So, I don't know, it just seems a bit of, now, bit lazy on LGB's part, but I don't know. I'm not gonna knock them too much for this because, again, I really do like the look of this Boxcar. For comparison, I got some other pieces of 1/29 scale rolling stock from my collection to put up next to the Coca-Cola Boxcar. And the first one is this REA caboose, which if you go back a couple months ago to my last large-scale unboxing, you may have seen this. And while I did like this unit, I made some modifications to it. The first being I installed metal wheels on this, and not only that, I've also equipped this unit with interior lighting and also installed interior detail, which I think makes it a lot better than it was. But also, I've got my Aristo-Craft 100-ton hopper car, and this was actually the first ever piece of 1/29 scale stock that I had in my collection. And like I mentioned earlier, this has the moving axle ends, and the hatches on the bottom of this unit actually open. But I've got a few other pieces of 1/29 scale stock in my collection, but I believe these are the only pieces of rolling stock I have. And now that I think about it, I'm starting to get enough rolling stock. Maybe I should look into getting a 1/29 scale locomotive for all these. So here's what the Boxcar would look like if it was part of a consist. Of course, the coupling here isn't the best because this still has the hook and loop coupler on it. Like I mentioned before, I'm going to have to get some LGB knuckle couplers for this unit. But overall, I don't think this looks too bad. And I think when I come to do the running footage, I'll just go ahead and put a hook and loop coupler on one end of the caboose and one end of the hopper car, and that'll make this work, at least for the time being. Before I give my final thoughts on this model, I do want to talk about the price. And like I mentioned before, originally I found one of these from a seller who had it for $55 or best offer, but sadly that listing got away from me. However, the second seller that I found one of these models from, they had this one for $45 plus shipping, which I believe I had around 50 some dollars into this by the time it was delivered to my door, which I felt was a really good price because I've seen some sellers out there on eBay that are charging anywhere from $200 to $250, and I personally feel like there's some price gouging going on there, and I think these people are banking on the fact that 1, it's an LGB model, 2, it's a Coca-Cola themed model, and 3, that this model was produced how many years ago and it's not available today. But honestly, I would say if you can find this model for anywhere, let's say between $50 to, I don't know, maybe $80, $90, I think it's worth picking up at that price. Now, in regards to my final thoughts on this model and as to whether or not I'd recommend getting it, I have to say that if you're someone who is looking for something like this to add to your large-scale railroad, it is well worth purchasing one of these, but only if you can find it at a reasonable price. Because, like I've already pointed out, this model is not perfect. Again, I just think that it's too lightweight for what it is, and the model should have came with metal wheels instead of plastic ones, because not only would metal wheels have added more weight to this unit, but no matter how you slice it, metal wheels are always going to be better than plastic ones. And again, I'm not a fan of the exposed screws either. I just feel those take away from the look of realism with the unit. But I'm not going to say that it's not worth getting this. There's definitely quality in this model because it is produced by LGB, and LGB is a superior brand. Now, part of why I got this unit was not only because I thought it was cool and I wanted one for myself, but I've also seen that there's another YouTuber who has large-scale trains, and his channel name is Jim Zim. He actually has the entire LGB Coca-Cola train, and when I saw this Boxcar from that one seller on eBay, that kind of reminded me of him, and it was kind of an impulse buy. I wanted to get one of these for myself, and I was so glad I came across this one, and at a reasonable price. And I'm really happy to have this in my collection now, and it's a great addition to my small number of 1/29 scale rolling stock. But again, like I said, if you can find one of these units for a reasonable price and it's something you want for your large scale railroad, well worth picking up in my opinion. But anyways, that's going to be it for this review. You guys can feel free to let me know your thoughts on this model down in the comments down below, and let's get on to the running footage.